that kindness to give me that 5 minutes. That's kind of you, thanks. So, firstly, do you have any thoughts about the purpose of life, why we're here, the meaning of life, and that sort of stuff?
The meaning of life, I haven't quite got there.
Okay, I respect your honesty. That's very good.
Purpose of life, I mean, obviously, it's like reproduction and things.
Yeah, to keep the human race kind of thing.
Believing in something, yes, I do believe there's something there.
A higher power sort of thing.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's because I was a 9-year-old child.
Yes.
And I had an accident at school. Went
sorry to hear
into
that.
Coma.
Sorry to hear that.
And I was saved by my next door neighbour being a night nurse.
Oh, okay.
So what actually happened is we all went swimming.
Yeah.
And they used to push you in from the back years ago.
The other kids?
No, this
the teachers?
This is teachers.
Oh, really?
Pushed me in from the back. I went down underneath, both my eardrums perforated, and I went into a coma that night.
Oh, that's
my
terrible.
My next door neighbour was a night nurse, knew what was going on that night.
Yeah.
Pushed me to hospital.
Oh.
Said it'd been 5 minutes later, I would have been dead.
Really?
But I still can't understand why I've been saved.
Okay, let's hold that thought. What I'm going to agree upon, in our little short conversation, right, and it's not brilliant weather, I know we're trying to keep dry as well and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just want to agree upon common sense, that when we speak, I'll give you an example. If you cross the road in Leicester, you look left, you look right, and then you cross the road. You don't tend to shut your eyes, right? A bit like they pushed you in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
It doesn't really show much common sense, really,
no,
with all honesty. Yeah.
If it had been now,
they'd be in court. Yeah, they'd be in court, wouldn't they? So,
whereas this is going back. Late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah,
so.
I know life is a lot different. You're going back, when you go in the past, teachers, their behaviour, whatever went on. I mean, the cane and all that sort of stuff, I can vaguely remember that. I just escaped it, by a few years. But this is the point. So when we speak now, I'm going to stick to common sense, and I hope you do as well, in the sense of, I don't want to go into nonsensical things. I want to talk rationally, if that makes sense. Yeah. So the first thing I want to sort of touch upon is because obviously I'm a Muslim, and I follow Islam, like Christians, I follow Christianity. And I just want to touch upon the existence of God. We as Muslims, what we believe is, like what you mentioned, that there's a higher power. We believe that God exists. Now, you don't have to call him God. You can call him the creator, the all-hearing, the all-loving. He's a very loving being. The book that I gave you is about the love of God. So you can find out more later in your own time, right? But this God that exists, we call him Allah. It means the one true God.
You've
heard of it. Yeah. It's an Arabic word, and it just means the one true God, basically. But the point I'm getting at is that, he designed the whole universe. He made you, he made me, the teachers at your school, everything around us, right? He's the one that created it all, right? When once there was nothing. He's always been there. So he's eternal and absolute. I don't want to use complex language, but he's eternal, meaning he's there before time, space and matter. He's absolute, he's one, he's unique, right, in that sense. And that was going to be my next point I was going to drive into, was the fact that in Islam, as Muslims, we strongly believe that he's one. Right, so we've got this design argument. The design argument is the argument that's saying the universe is very finely balanced, madam. There's many amazing things. Your eyesight, the DNA, the universe, the planets, the sun, all of it is in perfect order. If the scientists say if it was out by a little bit, then there would be chaos in the universe. Things would collapse, right? Nothing would sort of work, if that makes sense. So we believe God or Allah created the universe. Christians have the same sort of belief. Jews do as well. Many people do. A belief in God, basically, right? Now, my second point was we believe he's one. We believe he's one because, say there was two gods, right, or more. Let's say with two, keep it simple. God A wants to make it sunny tomorrow, and God B wants to make it rainy, right? Do you see my point? What have you got? It's conflict, isn't it, right? You got A, rain, sunny. Which one? Where's the God, right? And so we're saying there can only be one true, powerful God, right? And that's the definition in Islam. When we say Allah, we mean the all-powerful, right? The all-seeing, the all-loving. He's a beautiful creator. He's got many names and attributes. He's not like a 2D God. He's not limited in a dimension, if that makes sense, right? And he's beyond the physical realm, right? So he's a beautiful creator, being very generous, very loving, very kind, right? And what this means is that he provides for you. Like, he's given you a beautiful jumper, lovely purse, lovely watch, clothing, shelter, food, drinks, all of the physical things he provides them, right? To a certain degree.
No, I take that as material. I mean, these are my daughter's sort
of right, okay.
Things.
You borrowed them, right? Yeah, but my point is he does give us food and stuff. When you go home this evening, you're going to have dinner, right? And you're going to eat dinner, and it's food, it's physical stuff that he's provided. But the question I want to put to you is, do you not think that you provide for our spiritual needs? Spiritually, that purpose in life. You know, like what you were mentioning earlier, that you believe because of the experience that you had. That's very interesting. I find that it's quite a sad story. It kind of got to my heart a bit.
Because I'm sort of...
You're over
I'm
it.
61
Yeah,
now, so
yeah.
that happened when I was 9.
But carelessness, isn't it, to a certain degree? I mean, to do that, to push, I mean, the kid could drown, isn't it, or die?
It is. I mean, someone had to jump in and pull me out, sort of
I was going to say.
and put me to the side. And even now, I don't know if you know this Facebook, there's certain people who... I actually remember that happening to Yvonne when we was younger.
Oh.
So it must have hit a few people.
Must have done.
And it's sort of... I can't swim because of it.
No, you've probably got fear of water,
I have got it. And a friend of mine, she died about 4 years ago. She had kidney trouble. And
that's sad. Sorry to hear that,
But I actually put on a great thing because we was all allowed to write on it.
Yeah.
And I put, in the end, Karen, I will learn to swim, but I'll do it for both of us. She couldn't swim neither.
She couldn't swim either. So this is the thing, madam. It's like, I didn't catch your name, sorry.
Yvonne.
Yvonne is Murtaza. Yeah, Murtaza. You said it brilliantly. Right? So Yvonne, right? So I'm really bad with names. But Yvonne, so the point is that, we believe that he did provide for our spiritual reasons or purposes, the things like our purpose in life. And that comes through the Quran. Have you heard of the Quran, the book of the Muslims?
I mean, I have heard the pray to Allah and obviously
Quran is in this book. You'll see little bits of the Quran. So it says the Quran, chapter 2, and it talks about your God is the one God. There's no God except Him, the Lord of mercy, the Giver of mercy, in the creation of the heaven. And it talks a lot. There are verses of the Quran, but the Quran is in Arabic, Yvonne, right?
Yeah.
And I'm guessing you don't look like an Arab, right? So you don't speak fluent Arabic, right? I don't speak fluent Arabic either. But the point is, it's in English, so you can understand it. But what is the Quran? It's like an instruction manual for human beings. Does that kind of make sense, Yvonne? Yeah. It's an instruction book. So when you buy a gadget, right, Yvonne, you buy a new mobile phone or a computer, whatever the gadget, they give you the little booklet, the instruction manual. Even with simple things like an iron, they give you a little booklet sometimes, right?
They have to with me.
Yeah. Same with me, right? So this little booklet, the Quran is the instruction manual, but for human beings. That's all it is. It's a book of guidance, right? So in there, it says things like, it's got prohibitions and recommendations, but it's not all about do's and don'ts. It's like when you buy the book, when you buy the gadget and the manual is there. It doesn't just talk all day long about charge it like this, do that, don't do this. It's got some other information, like, for example, your phone will be able to help you do X, Y, Z. So there's some do's and don'ts, and the Quran is similar. There's do's and don'ts. Do not lie, do not steal, do not cheat. Be good to your neighbours, loving to your parents, good to your parents. Your mum, she carried you in her stomach, and all the hardship that the ladies go through. I don't know if you've got kids, Yvonne.
I've got 3 children, 5 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. Wow,
you don't look a day over, 45, you know what I mean? Right, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. So you've experienced it all, this whole thing about the kids, and how difficult it is, right? The lady can pass away giving birth.
Yes.
Right, and then she has to go through all the weaning and the breastfeeding and the nappy changes. The amount your mother does for you. The amount your mother.
My mum had. I was what they called emergency cesarean.
Oh yes.
I was pulling the cord around my neck, but I was also coming out with my arm. So my mum had emergency cesarean.
Oh my good Lord.
My mum had 5 of us, and because of that, the next 2 had to be done by cesarean as well.
Oh, I see. So, right. So what I was talking about now, I was talking about. So oneness, so the Quran. So we covered the Quran. The last bit I want to just skim over, because I don't want to go over the 5 minutes, is about the prophets, right? So they are the ones that followed God, right? And there was many of them. So just like Christianity, Adam, Moses, Noah, Jacob, Jesus, Muhammad, we believe in all the messengers, all the prophets, but they all came with the same message as what we believe, which was to worship one God. We don't believe they said, bow to me, I am God.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that, how can a man be God, or a woman be God, or a child be God, or this creation, this world is finite, it's going to rot away. Every man's going to die, everything's going to disintegrate.
Right.
Do you see my point? Yeah.
We all say that, we all came in the same, and we all are going to go out the same.
Yeah.
There's no better than anyone else.
No, we should be humble with the people, definitely, and fair and good. And that's what I believe. You're a human. I speak to you as a human. I didn't, at no point have I asked you what's your religion, this and that and the other. I haven't probed that far. The labels, put them to one side. Look at human to human. The world's got so much crazy stuff going on, wars, and look at the Ukraine, and this was famines and killings and injustice. It's melting down, right? So we need a lot of love, kind people like yourself, compassion, mercy, goodness. That's all it is. Talk to people. People don't talk much. They don't smile.
Now,
they don't. Yeah.
I worked, I think it was 6 years at the biscuit factory, and I don't know if you know about me, but there's a lot of same as you, different sort, there's a lot, and we all used to mix and have the good,
jokes and laughs.
Yeah.
No, that's brilliant of you. So the last thing I want to say, Yvonne, right, is about Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. When I say Prophet Muhammad, I say a little bit of Arabic afterwards, which means peace and blessings be upon him. We have to say that as Muslims because we revere him. We don't worship him, but we revere him in the sense of he's a respected figure, right? So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings be upon him, he basically, there's three options with him, Yvonne, right? Either he was a liar, or he was deluded, right? Or he was truthful. So liar, that doesn't fit in because in history there's no account of him lying, and he was offered many things, riches, power positions, everything to leave the message of worship one God, but he never gave it up, right? So he was offered everything. A liar would just be like, give me the money, I've lied and I'll get the riches, right? So he couldn't have been a liar. In fact, in his history, even before prophethood, he was known as the truthful one. Even amongst his enemies, they knew of his truthfulness, right? That's the first point. Deluded is when you speak falsehood thinking it's true, like delusions, right? Now the thing about that, he had prophecies, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had prophecies, things that came true in the future. Like for example, the Arab Bedouins, which are a niche sort of Arab, they're going to build very tall buildings. And that came to pass only within the last, say, 30 to 50 years in the UAE, in Saudi Arabia. They're competing. They were Arabs in the desert. They had no oil. Then in the 70s, 60s, your era, the black gold came, the oil, it came along. And they're now building the tallest buildings in the world. UAE's got the Burj Khalifa, which is at nearly about 700 meters, I think. And in Saudi Arabia, right, the holy cities where the holy cities are, there's the Jeddah Tower, which is nearly 1 kilometer tall. So they're competing, the Arabs competing, right?
I've heard Jeddah.
Jeddah, you've heard it in Saudi Arabia. So you've got Mecca, the holiest city. You've got Medina, the second holiest city, and you've got Jeddah, which is not a holy city, but it's a major kind of city in Saudi Arabia. I think it's a portside city. It's one of the major places where there's an airport, and the people that go on pilgrimage when they go to Mecca, they land in Jeddah usually, or Medina. There's no airport in Mecca. Right, maybe because it's a sacred city, they don't want to build an airport. But this is the point. The only conclusion we come up with as Muslims, right, we say he must have been a truthful prophet, and that's our belief. Remember, we don't force it on others. We're not saying, you, Yvonne, we're forcing this belief. You have to believe what I'm saying. It's for you to look into the book and to research. You've got a bind. You've been through experiences. But my personal estimation is, I think your experience, right, was to bring you closer to God. The fact that you survived. Look at that. The chances of living, both eardrums gone. In the water, could have died. Your childbirth, again, escape from death. And who's the one controlling life and death? Is Allah, is God. Do you see my point, Yvonne, right? So, think about these things, because God, to the good person, right, he shows his signs. He shows his signs, and you see them all around. Look around us. Look at the amazing creation, right? The sun, the moon, the stars. It's beautiful, isn't it? I love it as well. It's brilliant.
The other night, stars sort of thing, but I don't know what they're called. The only thing I don't like, and I can't stand it at the minute, is politics.
Politics.
I can't stand it.
Politics,
because I think they're just there for pushing for money.
I know. You know what? The chapter that you've opened, we could talk about it until the cows come home. I kind of feel a bit bad because I went over 5 minutes. But thanks for stopping. That's really kind. You know what I mean? Because I really appreciate it, your time and your listening. And the good things that you had to say, and I wish you all the best.
Hopefully I'll be able to read this because my concentration has gone a little bit.
Has it? You know what? The good thing about this, number one, it's not many pages. That's one good thing. So it's only 15 pages, which are small, around that mark. So that's one good thing. The second thing is it's not complex academia.
That's what I mean.
Complex words.
I used to read 4 books a week.
Really?
I have to think because my epilepsy came back late in life.
And
after that, my concentration has
gone.
So I'm hoping hampered. Something like that might.
You're a clever lady. You're a clever lady, Yvonne. I think you'll read it, and I think you'll understand it as well.
Okay,
and I'll pray for you as well. Thanks you, Yvonne. Take care. Cheers. Bye.